Hello, my wonderful friends. Thank you for joining me today. This is going to be the second video in a series of videos that I want to do on tarot and healing. When I first introduced it, I talked a little bit about why I felt this was so important. I think that tarot is an amazing tool that helps us on our healing journey. And so I wanted to share some of the cards in the Rainbow Travelers Tarot deck that I created that I feel really speak to this journey of growth and healing. And so the first of the healer cards that I wanted to share with you, the guide cards in the Rainbow Travelers Tarot deck have 4 guides that I feel come in and out of our lives at different times. The first one is the Muse, the second is a protector, the third is a healer, and then the fourth one is a mentor. And so this series is going to talk a bit more about the healers. Today's video is going to focus around specifically the Healer of Swords. Each of the suits I feel are connected to an aspect of ourselves, our mind, body, heart, and soul. And swords is our mind. It is our thinking, our thoughts, that whole process that goes on that helps us to move forward and do things. And the Healer of Swords is very much about needing to heal from things that are going on in our minds. And this goes beyond mental health and mental wellness to situations where just situations that have happened continue to play over and over in our minds. And the Healer of Swords, you can see she's holding her sword, and it's got a point at both ends. And it's kind of like she's gracefully balancing and dancing. And so sometimes that, is representative of having to always watch what you say, what you think, feeling fearful of being able to speak your mind. And, when we come to thinking about things where we need healing in this area, some of the cards that come up sometimes that indicate that we need that. Sorry, I'm outside and someone's dog is barking, so obviously they wanted me to share this card. But one of the things that cards that come up is the Shadows card, and it's one of the major arcana. And the Shadows card for me, I know a lot of the archetype decks have this as the devil, and I really think in today's society, I wanted a card that really reflected that energy that is dark and oppressive. Could be someone that has a hidden agenda, someone that has been hurtful, who hasn't been truthful. It can be situations or activities that we may have gotten involved in that haven't been good for our health. But when you connect this card with the Healer of Swords, I quite often look at it as the fact that there's this dark cloud of depression. And having lived with that most of my adult life, I recognize the challenge of fighting that battle, finding ways to protect yourself from harmful thoughts, from being disillusioned, from feeling hopeless. The other card in the tarot that sort of indicates quite often that we're being really hard on ourselves is the Judgment card. And you can see she's kind of resigned, recognizing that that perhaps this judgment, this self-talk is not good for her. And, both of those cards, when you come up with the Healer of Swords, is very much about being able to step back from that and stop that activity. Swords are also very much about truth, and it's about being able to recognize when the thoughts in our head are really part of the problem, and in a lot of cases the reason that it keeps coming up again and again and again. It's sort of like that tape that's on, automatic replay. And we've got a beautiful bird outside here, we're in the backyard, that just wants you to know that there is hope, and that you can turn that replay off. The Two of Swords is a card that will help you to make choices. The Two of Swords is about balance, and you can see that she's on a beach and there's water. And with swords being connected with our mind, the water is connected with emotions. And so for making decisions, it's going to be really important when you're healing to make sure that you're staying connected to your heart and your mind. Sometimes when we focus too much on the intellectual, the logical, or the patterns that just keep repeating, we get stuck. And so it's important to stay connected to both our heart and our mind when we're making decisions. Temperance is another card that talks about that balance. When we're trying to heal, it's so important for us to make sure that our life is balanced. We can get so exhausted that our energy levels, just from all of the things that are playing in our mind, that anxious worry, that going over things over and over again, can be exhausting. The other thing this card, Temperance, reminds us of is about staying balanced to both sides of ourselves. We have many aspects of our own nature, and some parts of it that we feel we want to stay away from. And we need to be connected to all aspects of ourselves. We need to recognize the things that we need, not just in the physical world and what we're looking for in relationships and what we're looking for in jobs. We need to find what brings us joy, the activities that are fun, that are exciting, and we need to find time for those things in our life. We need to find time to spend with people we care about. We need to make sure that we're looking at a life that isn't all work and no play. The other two cards that I feel that really help with this need to heal with, that sort of depressive, anxious mind is the energy of the star. Okay, and the star is that unicorn. It's that youth, that childlike wonder and wish. When we were children, and it was so easy to look up into the sky and look at the stars, and the first star you saw, you would make a wish on. Finding that energy, that childlike wonder, looking at life that way, as opposed to, as you get older and you learn to sort of step away from those things, we forget that there's so much joy in the actual moment that we're in. If you look at a child, you spend time with the young ones, and see the littlest things that make their eyes light up, and recognize that we need to find that again. We need to be connected to that. We need to connect with believing in the opportunity for wishes, believing in the opportunity of magic, of bringing hope, of just that freedom that comes with that energy. And the other one is the Chariot. And this card is very much about freedom. And I think that, sometimes when we are stuck in these places where, the healer of swords is necessary, and we're feeling oppressed, by the shadows, whether it's a person, a place, a situation, a job, we need this freedom. We need to be able to embrace the energy of the Chariot and get out of that situation. We need to be able to take our own truth and cut through that darkness and embrace that energy and move out of it. The caravan, to me, the Gypsy caravan, was very much what I wanted in this tarot deck for the Chariot. To me, it is magical. It's about that energy of being free to be yourself, of not being tied down. Horses are also very special to me, and I think that energy, finding those things that makes your heart light up, that gives you that moment of peace in amidst chaos, in amidst anxiety, in among times where you're feeling down and hard on yourself. Those are the things that help to lift you up, and it's important to make time for those. And I think that connecting with the tarot, connecting with your intuition, recognizing that there is a way out of these dark places and moving into a place where you can gracefully just dance away and find that healing is an opportunity for all of us. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope that there's been something in here that may have helped you. I love hearing from you. Thank you very much for those of you that have subscribed and liked my video, the first one that I did on healing. Please feel free to leave comments. I think that life is a real journey. It's one of growth, and it's certainly one where there's healing needed. It can get really crazy and hard at times, but I think that we can connect together and that there are signs that help us to move forward. Thanks again for joining me today, and I hope that you have a wonderful month. I hope that you can find the things that bring joy to your heart and that helps you to be able to still your mind from constantly going through and playing back old tapes that no longer serve you. Take care, and I hope to talk to you real soon. Bye-bye for now.